this particular talk called diversity as a challenge. All I want to tell you is a story here first. It seems one man went to Lord Shiva and he told Lord Shiva, I'm fed up of this kind of people all around me. No two persons think alike, the way they are pulling me from all sides. Please help me. So Lord Shiva gave a good laugh and he said, what are you talking about your troubles? Look at me. I have one snake in my neck and one of my sons go on a rat which is a snake's enemy. I am supposed to keep fire in my neck, my throat, and the water, my wife on my head keeps throwing water on me. Okay, I am sitting in a cold area, but she never thinks about it. My other wife is a Shakti personified. She gets upset with the cold water. Okay, and I'm managing both of them very well. Okay, and I sit on a bull and my wife goes on lions and tigers, which are strong enemies again. My one son is called a snake, but he goes on a peacock, which are again strong enemies. No two people, no two animals, no two things which are around me are in friendly condition in other way, but I maintain all of them in complete peace, tranquility. That is what is management is all about. Darling, you become like me, then you will understand how to manage diversity, he said, I believe. And in India, all of us are born to manage diversity. An amazing country. Every 100 kilometers, we have different language, different food, different culture, different people, different everything. And it's one of the most beautiful part of our country. But what happened is that managing this change is what is a problem to us now. Next few minutes, I'm going to tell you all in which way, how can we actually tackle this diversity, which has become a challenge today. The diversity challenge is not linguistic diversity. It is not cultural diversity. It is not any other diversity. The diversity of financial and social status. Financial status is what is challenged to us. Why do I talk about financial diversity, which is a challenge today, is you have a heterogeneous class. Every one of you have got a heterogeneous class. This heterogeneous class is not only about the child who learns slower, the child who needs a special care, the child who is a reluctant learner, the child who is a fastest learner, but it is also about a fastest learner not having any app in the house, or not having any tab in the house, not having any gadget in the house. And how are we attending to that child? You as a teacher feel for that. How am I attending to all these children, inclusive of that child who is not able to have that kind of a gadget which he can listen to me, which he can ask me? He is the fastest learner maybe. So how to attend to this diversity and how to come out of this guilt of not being able to attend to all in a one go. We are not Krishna, Lord Krishna, to be omnipresent and omnipotent. We are just teachers, all of us. We may have different abilities, but we are human beings. So at a time, we will go one slot at a time. Not only Karnataka, across the country, there are two things I want. First thing to do is that we cannot stop a running heart. But today, teacher empowerment is coming through national education policy, which we need to take it very seriously. Teacher education, teacher empowerment, capacity building is not a joke, because we are creating the future generations. A doctor and a teacher cannot make mistakes. Lives are at stake. Second thing I want to see is that the stakeholder empowerment. Now, I'll give you a classic example. What I think as a parent in a city is far different from a parent from a village or a parent from a tier 2, tier 3 cities, because long back I tried to help somebody to start up a school in Rajahmundry in international school, and when we did a market study, we understood that Every parent wants their child to go to America, do engineering and go to America. I'm talking about with Andhra, because that is the dream they have. Now, today we should tell them that America is not the target. So how do we change that mindset? So first we have to change the mindset of thinking, change the mindset of thinking of parents, change the mindset of thinking of all the stakeholders, and give that openness to the children. Allow the child to study what the child wants to study. When will this happen? If we create dignity of labor, if we respect the plumber as much as we respect a doctor, if we respect the electrician as much as we respect one IT professional, if we respect the teacher as much as we respect the Prime Minister of this country, that dignity of labor, when we bring in here, then the change normally comes. Ultimately, a child is sent to school to learn, to go to job, to earn money. The earning money comes with a package. That package, if that is taken care, today a man here is a generic word I am using, man, woman, anybody. The person who earns a lot of money is respected. Whether I accept it, you accept it, it's a different thing. Society wants to do that. If a man comes in a BMW, in a Benz car, wow, that comes. And if we go in a small nano car, okay, nano car. So first we need to change this attitude in people, that it is the learning, the job, the respect to humanity. If we give, then only the whole education system can change. And when all the stakeholders change their attitude, all the stakeholders are ready for the change. Today, everybody's house has got national education policy. How many of them are able to read? How many of them are able to decipher? How many of them are able to understand that tomorrow my child can take physics with music? And will they accept it? If that comes, done, sir. Not, they don't need me. They don't, anybody, everybody will be able to receive that. And I don't know when it happens. I have only 2 more years. After that, I will retire very respectfully.